साहब अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। हमारे फ़ा मुज़फ़्फ़र और मेरे साथ एक बहुत प्यारी सी शख्सियत मौजूद है। देखिए साहब, कनाडा में अगर मैं और आप आए हैं और हमें बाज़ औक़ात अपने इलाकों से थोड़ा गिला शिकवा भी हुआ करता है। मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है, इलेक्शंस आने के हैं, आप अपने अपने इलाके में अपने बच्चों के साथ जाके कैंडिडेट से मुलाकात ज़रूर कीजिएगा। हमारे साथ एक बहुत प्यारी सी शख्सियत मौजूद है, मिस गिल, और मेरा बेटा है अरपन खन्ना। ब्रैम्पटन आप देख भी रहे हैं कि ब्रैम्पटन नॉर्थ से ही इज़ अ कैंडिडेट, और आप आइए अरपन के ऑफिस में आइए, आके मिलिए। और गगन गिल मेरे साथ है, मैं गगन जी से आपकी बात करती हूँ। यू आर सच अ स्वीट पर्सन। आई कैन सी यू आर वेयरिंग ब्लू एंड दिस मीन्स यू आर कंजर्वेटिव।
That I am. I've been working with the Conservatives for the last 25 years, and I've had the honor of working alongside my brother, Arpan Khanna, when we were both in Jason Kenney's office in Ottawa together, when he was both Minister of Defence and Minister of Multiculturalism.
She is so sweet. Yani, she's not a blood sister of Arpan. Magar
My little brother, Chota Pra.
छोटा भरा।
Yes.
माय गॉड। और मैंने देखिए साहब 20 इयर्स एक पार्टी के साथ काम करना मीन्स अ लॉट। और गगन जी, अर्पन इज सच अ स्वीट बॉय, ही इज सच अ हम्बल पर्सन, he is with the community, so this means he is in the office for the last 20 years. He knows inside out.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's been a diehard since Raminder Gill was becoming an MPP in Brampton. So he's grown up in politics. I'm very proud of the man that he has become. He is a fighter for people. I know that once we all get behind him, which I hope all of you will do, we will ensure that he is victorious on October the 21st, and he will be the Member of Parliament for Brampton North.
One thing she reminded me of Mr. Gill. I remember कि मुझे तब कनाडा में आए हुए कुछ अर्सा ही हुआ था, सेकंड इलेक्शन था, एंड ब्रैम्पटन उस ज़माने में बवेड तक ही हुआ करता होता था, और ये हॉस्पिटल जब आया, and this credit goes to Mr. Gill. He is the man who brought this.
Definitely. Under then Health Minister Raminder Gill helped to definitely make that happen. And as I said, Arpan started as a youngster. I want to say he was 13, maybe even younger, when he started with Raminder Gill on his campaign. And look how far he's come today. So, yep. And I guarantee you that with his hard work and all of us behind him, he will win on October the 21st, and he will be the MP.
Inshallah. So Brampton need people like Arpan Khanna, and he is in Brampton. He knows Brampton inside out. Any other message for our listeners?
No, I just hope that we can all enjoy the fabulous event that's being put on by him and his writing association today with Premier Kenny from Alberta. I think it's going to be an amazing event, and I hope that we can use the energy that comes from this event to guide us into the campaign and then on election day. So go vote Arpan.
Go vote for Arpan. Go meet Arpan.
Yes.
This is what I would say at the moment.
For sure.
But let me tell you one thing. Sometime when we come across people, we get kind of vibes. And believe you me, while I'm standing here, I can have those positive vibes from you.
Bless your heart. Thank you for saying that. Really warms me. Why I do what I do for the last 25 years is because I love people. When people ask me my religion, I say it's love. So I'm glad that you're feeling the love that I'm exuding for everybody. So, and especially my brother.
Thank you very much. आज के प्रोग्राम में साथ रहिएगा हमारे प्रीमियर जो हैं एल्बर्टा से जेसन कैनी, वो यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं। एक मुलाकात बहुत खूबसूरत होगी। थैंक यू।
Thank you. Lovely. Thank you. I was a little nervous, but we did it together.
एक दफ़ा फिर से खुश आमदीद कहना चाहती हूँ। मेरे साथ ना सरबजीत सरा खड़े हुए हैं 7:70 AM पे। अ वेरी स्वीट ब्रदर, यंग ब्रदर ऑफ माइन, मैं बेटा भी कहा करती होती हूँ। सरबजीत भी ही वाज वन ऑफ द नॉमिनी में थे, मगर फिर उसके बाद इलेक्शन कैसे हुआ उसी की बात करूँगी। बुनियादी तौर पर रियल स्टेट से वाबस्ता हैं। इनके बड़े भाई बहुत ज़बरदस्त इंसान। सरबजीत जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर गिविंग मी टाइम। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਨੋਮੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀ।
ਜੀ ਫਸਟ ਆਫ ਆਲ ਭੈਣ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਰੋਤਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਤੇ ਸਲਾਮ ਅਲੈਕਮ ਜੀ। ਆਈ ਟਰਾਈਡ ਨੋਮੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਮੈਂ ਕੈਲੰਡਰ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਰਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਕਾਰਨਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੇਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ ਲੈਣੇ ਪਏ पर कंजर्वेटिव ਦੇ ਨਾਲ जुड़े हुए हैं 2004 तो
मुझे यही मैंने आपको पता है मैं आपसे क्यों बात कर रही हूँ। दिस इज़ स्पोर्ट्समैन स्पिरिट, दिस इज़ स्पोर्ट्समैन स्पिरिट कि हालांकि आप वहाँ थे, इन्होंने अपने पेपर्स वापस लिए, मगर वो जो असूल हैं, जो प्रिंसिपल्स हैं, उनके साथ ही वॉज conservative, he is conservative, and I think he will remain conservative.
For sure I'll stay conservative. First of all, we love our country, we love our country, we love Canada, and then we love conservative policies and jo when we go deep and think about them, we read about them, they are very friendly. So जो दीवार ये सोचा जाता था पहले कि क्यों जो कंजर्वेटिव है ना भैन जी, खुली बात करूँ तो ये ਸੋਚਦੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਸੀਗੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਐਲੀਟਸ ਦੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਆ, ਪਰ ਵਿਚ ਇਜ਼ ਦੈਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅ ਹਿਡਨ ਔਰ ਇਨਵਿਜ਼ੀਬਲ ਵਾਲ ਸਮਵੇਅਰ। ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਇਟਸ ਗੋਇੰਗ ਨਾਓ ਟੂ ਡੋਰਸ। ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਦੀਵਾਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਵਾਲ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਦੇਅਰ ਵਾਜ਼ ਨੋ ਸੱਚ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਵਾਲ। ਪਰ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਫॉर योर ਨੌਲੇਜ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲ ਸੰਗਠਿਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਵਿਚ ਇਜ਼ ਕਾਲਡ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀਜ਼ ਇੰਗੇਜਮੈਂਟ ਕਾਉਂਸਲ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਲੈਵਲ 'ਤੇ, ਫਿਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ ਲੈਵਲ 'ਤੇ, ਫਿਰ GTA ਰੀਜਨ ਲੈਵਲ 'ਤੇ। ਸੋ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਇਜ਼ ਟਰਾਈਂਗ ਟੂ ਰੀਚ ਆਊਟ ਟੂ ਐਵਰੀ ਡੋਰ ਟੂ ਡੋਰ, knocking doors to door and trying to get concerns from all the constituencies and all the community to how can they serve better, how can they do better.
बहुत शुक्रिया। बल्कि हमारी मिन्नू जी आपको लाइव भी लेके जा रही हैं। बिल्कुल इन्होंने ये कहा कि जैसे मैंने कहा ना, दीवार हायल थी, लोगों ने सुनी सुनाई पे यकीन किया कि दे आर अगेंस्ट अस, मगर मैंने हमेशा से कहा ही
They are more friendly than others. See, they are more friendly than the others.
In other words, you can say they are politicians तो सारे friendly होते हैं, but they are straightforward. Whatever is their agenda, nothing is hidden.
Nothing is hidden. It's a straightforward, as you said. So conservative ਪਤਾ ਬਾਤ ਕਿਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ ਸੁਣਾਈਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਨੰਬਰ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ ਸੁਣਾਈਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਰਿਊਮਰਸ 'ਤੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮੇਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਵੈਸੇ ਭੈਣ ਜੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਵੀ ਧਾਰਨਾ ਆ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਕਲ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ। ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਮਗਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ ਗੱਲ, ਉਹ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਉਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੋਚਣ ਦੀ ਸੀਮਾ ਆ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਘੱਟ ਹੋਵੇ। ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਡੂ ਯੂਰ ਓਨ ਡਿਊ ਡਿਲੀਜੈਂਸ, ਡੂ ਯੂਰ ਓਨ ਲਿਟਲ ਹੋਮਵਰਕ ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਮੇਕ ਐਨੀ ਡਿਸੀਜ਼ਨ। ਸੋ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ इज़ अ बेटर पार्टी फॉर कैनेडा, दैट्स ऑल आई वांट टू से।
बड़ी प्यारी बात कही, मतलब लुब्बे लुबाब इसका यही निकला कि सुनी सुनाई पे बिलीव करने की बजाय आप ड्यू डिलिजेंस, खुद मुलाकात कीजिए, उनका एजेंडा देखिए, उनका मंशूर देखिए। एंड कैनेडा हमेशा स्ट्रॉन्ग रहे। माशाल्लाह माशाल्लाह। सर जी बहुत शुक्रिया
भैन जी, थैंक यू सो मच एंड we all have so much respect for you. Thank you.
सरबजीत सरा रियल स्टेट से वाबस्ता हैं और एक और मुलाकात की तरफ लेके चलती हूँ। आज का प्रोग्राम मैरियट कोर्टयार्ड मैरियट पे है और जेसन कैनी जो प्रीमियर हैं एल्बर्टा के, वो आज यहाँ टोरंटो में मौजूद हैं और फंड रेजिंग का एक प्रोग्राम का इनकाद किया गया है। जनाब इसहाक साहब ने इस प्रोग्राम को किया। बहुत प्यारा इंसान है मिन्नू जी। ये इसहाक भाई को मैं बल्कि भी आपकी मुलाकात भी करवाती हूँ इसहाक भाई से। इनका बिज़नेस ज़ाती तौर पे इंश्योरेंस इंडस्ट्री के साथ वाबस्ता है। बल्कि इसहाक भाई आ भी गए, से मैं इसहाक भाई से मुलाकात करा ही दूँ। तो जैसे मैं बात कर रही थी कि इसहाक भाई इंश्योरेंस इंडस्ट्री से वाबस्ता हैं। मैं ज़ाती तौर पे पिछले 1.5 साल से तो मैं ख़ुद देख रही हूँ, 1.5 पौने 2 साल से मैं देख रही हूँ कि इसहाक भाई ने मुख्तलिफ़ प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे कम्युनिटी और लीडर्स की मुलाकात करवाई ताकि वो जो आइस ब्रेकिंग का सिलसिला एक हो सके। इसहाक भाई, आज के प्रोग्राम के बारे में मैं तो थोड़ी सी बात की थी, मगर आप थोड़ा सा आज के प्रोग्राम के बारे में बताइए।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम बाजी। आज का प्रोग्राम बहुत वीआईपी प्रोग्राम है। जैसा कि आपको पता है कि प्रीमियर अल्बर्टा तशरीफ़ ला रहे हैं और आपको भी वो पुराने जानते हैं, आपसे भी पहले भी हमेशा आपकी सर्विसेज लेते रहे हैं।
patience this afternoon. Arpan's going to come around shortly. Have a seat. All right. My name is Upeka Jain, and it is my distinct pleasure to be your MC for today and to stand up here in support of the Conservative Party of Canada and our future Member of Parliament for Brampton North. Wow, it's absolutely phenomenal to see this energy in the room, to see this house is absolutely packed and a lot of blue. I'm sure all of you, along with me, are ready to paint this country blue again. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce you to the Member of Provincial Parliament for Richmond Hill and the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to warmly welcome MPP Michael Carsa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Michael Parcel. I'm the Member of Provincial Parliament for the riding of Aurora Ridges, Richmond Hill. I'm thrilled and excited to be here on this stage today to support a very, very dear friend of mine. So if you don't mind, allow me to introduce him properly, as you will all, he's not a stranger to any one of you. Arpan was born and raised in Brampton North, where he's actually running here. He has remained committed and active member of this community for all his life. He has volunteered and advocated and raised money for various non-for-profit foundations and community causes. Professionally, he has held several senior positions with all levels of government, including working for our very honorable guest speaker here today, who many of us have had the pleasure of working with or working for in the last few years. Great to see you here, Premier. And that is the Honorable Jason Kenney. He founded his own consulting firm and now works for an immigration law firm in downtown Toronto. He is young, dynamic, and has a lot of energy, as you all know. He's a very passionate individual, and he's all about serving the community. And I'm sure he will mention this in his speech about how proud he is to be a Bramptonian. I've seen his drive, and I know his type of personality. Believe me, Arpan is the one person in this riding who will get things done for his constituents. So without any further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you my good friend, our good friend, the next Member of Parliament for Brampton North, Arpan Khanna. Thank you. Let's just fix this a little bit. I'm a former staffer, so everything has to be perfect because I've been working for one of the perfect ministers. But Michael, thank you so much for that warm introduction. We worked quite hard together in the trenches, and it means a lot that you took time to be here. I want to thank each and every one of you as well who took time on a Sunday to be here and be a part of this campaign movement. I want to recognize first some of my elected friends who have always been there as well. Our good friend, MPP Pramit Sakaria from Brampton South. I know MPP Michael Parcel is here. Do we have any other MPPs? I know we're expecting a few others. Not yet. Okay, awesome. I want to give a quick shout out to my parents, my mom and dad, who have always been there for me, have always supported me, who have always gone above and beyond to make sure that I have the future I need. So Mom and Dad, thank you so much for always being here. I love you both. We have a lot of family here today. So if I start naming everyone, because all my uncles, chachas, mamas, they're all here today, so I want to thank you guys for coming out. But if we look around the room today, we have some of the best and the brightest. We have business owners. My good friend Deepak Ruparel from the hotel industry. Joe Pudewal from the mortgage industry. I got friends from transportation, from trucking. And I know that with financial contributions that you guys are giving us today, that we're going to have a campaign team that's going to be strong, that's going to be ready, and just in 148 days, it's almost there guys, 148, we're going to make sure that Justin Trudeau is a one-term Prime Minister. It's going to happen. And that's going to happen because of you. Because many of you are business owners. You make the sacrifices. You work hard. You invest. You leave your families behind. But you are the job creators, the ones that are creating wealth in our country. And you make sacrifices all the time, but our Prime Minister thinks you guys are tax cheats. And that is shameful. And that is unacceptable. And I strongly believe that our business community needs to be supported. Our government should be a partner, not put up barriers. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work together. We're going to make sure we get a conservative government. And October 21st, we're going to get Andrew Scheer elected as our Prime Minister. Friends, I want to talk about Brampton. You all know how much I love Brampton. I say it all the time. I'm a proud Bramptonian. However, Premier, if I may, the Premier went to Alberta because his province was struggling. there was this resentment that government's no longer working for Alberta. We're not at that stage yet, but one thing I'm telling you guys today is that in Brampton, when I'm door knocking, when I'm going to the doors and talking to people, Bramptonians feel like we're getting left behind. We're working harder and we're getting by. We're treated as second-class citizens. You know, we're not getting our fair share. And I blame that on our representation. We have these part-time MPs, is what I call them, that get elected, disappear for 3 years, and they come back now on social media all over again, saying that they're always with the community. That is absolutely shameful. Brampton North needs full-time public servants, not part-time MPs. And the Liberals like to brag about Brampton and how well they're doing. If we look at the unemployment number in Brampton, it's hovering above 8%, a lot higher than the national average. Our youth unemployment rate is also quite higher than that, and that is not acceptable. We have businesses in the last year who have closed their doors and have gone elsewhere. We have one of the lowest wage growths in the region. Owning a home is now out of reach. And that needs to change because millennials like myself and those that there's a dream of, this Canadian dream of owning a home, that needs to come back. And that's what we're going to do. You know, I know that Brampton has so much potential. I'm a proud Bramptonian. We're driven, we're strong. And I'm going to steal the Premier's line. He talked about the Alberta advantage. I want to make sure that we have a Brampton advantage after the next federal election. City, municipality, has the 401, the 407, the 427, the 403, the 410, all leading to Brampton. We have the CN Rail just a few kilometers away. The largest airport is right here. We have a young, diverse, passionate, energetic workforce that want to get to work. We got some of the best innovators, folks that have been creating these startup hubs in our community. We got Amazon, some of the biggest leaders. We've got the trucking industry here today as well, who have been the backbone of our economy. But what do the Liberals do? They impose a carbon tax. They make life unaffordable. They're making that Canadian dream that much more difficult. And I promise you, just like the Premier did on his first act, he got rid of the carbon tax. We're going to do the exact same thing nationwide. Friends, we don't need public servants just to play games and chase politics and just to play with power. You know, I know right now there's a whole campaign our Liberal friends are doing. They're pointing fingers. They're pointing fingers at other governments. They're blaming others, but they're not talking about their own track record because it's been a record of failure. And I always believe that leaders find reasons to get things done, not make excuses. So my promise to you is this. You're going to have an advocate in Ottawa every day, every single day, that's going to make sure that the needs of Bramptonians is actually taken care of, not just their inside friends like we saw the SNC Alliance doing. We know public service is not about the power, it's about people. It's about making sure we stand up for what is ours. And I know my good friend who's here, the Premier of Alberta, he's taught me some things. I've been following him quite closely. I was honored to be a part of his team. I was blessed, to be honest, because I've learned so much under his leadership. And before I call him up, I want to just talk a little bit about him and who he is as a person. He is more like a father figure, someone who has guided me, who has given me the values I need. The things you guys see in me is what I saw in him. I'm still trying to catch up to him. Long ways to go. But he was the inspiration. Because for him, politics was not about a job. It was a vocation. It was a calling. It was a service. And that is why, every single day, he worked hard. And I want to share a little story. When I first joined his team, I was told by Jeff and my colleagues, they were saying, it's going to be a very busy weekend. Make sure you guys you're prepared. I came from Queen's Park, things were good, so I was like, okay, I got my nice shoes out, polished them up. You know, got my nice suit out, nice tie. I was like, Jeff, look, you look great, don't worry, you're not going to leave like that. And on the weekend came, picked the minister, then the premier now, at 6 a.m. And I swear to God, in 2 days, we did 18 events, 16 media interviews, and we were on the road non-stop. Jeff and I looked exhausted. We looked at the premier, and he had a big smile on his face, and he's having a blast. That's the weekend, exactly. And what is amazing is the diet that went with it. I've never seen a man have a record number of samosas, doklas, pakode. Yeah, after the Ukrainian event, he had 4 shots of vodka. That night, 6 shots of Crown Royal, Punjabis. And I don't know how he kept his composure, because it was impressive. And that's exactly how he laughed. He has his golden laugh. That's the way he is. He actually cares. But all jokes aside, he got a lot of awards. He was, I think, by far the best immigration minister Canada has ever had, the most effective, a great minister of defense. I know he's very proud of that. But more so, one thing that that stood out, other than his work ethic, was that when he got awarded for his UN watch, for the award's called the Moral Courage Award, and that was because he spoke out and helped those that were oppressed. He was never afraid to take stances. He gave a voice to the oppressed. And that is what a political leader does. They don't look at what's easy, they look at what's the right thing to do. And that is what Jason Kenney is about. You won't see him saying one thing here, then one thing over there, just to get votes. He stands by what he believes in. And that is something that is truly admirable. And that's something I believe all elected officials should be following. Friends, he is a man of great principles, great conviction, a man of integrity, someone who champions the best of public service. And I'm very proud to say that he's here to support my campaign as well. So Premier, thank you for that. I want to call up the best Premier, I'm going to say right now, Alberta is going to ever have, my good friend, Jason Kenney.
Thank you so much, Arpan. Wow, what an introduction. And what a fine young man. Ladies and gentlemen, the next member of Parliament for Brampton North, Arpan Khanna. Arpan, I'm so honored to meet your parents for the first time today. And Mr. and Mrs. Khanna, you should be so proud to have raised such a fine young man. Thank you all, so many old friends here, for the opportunity to say hello again after too long. Thank you all, like my friend Isaac Mohammed here, who I met one day. He had a small livery company at Pearson Airport. He picked me up one day. He'd only been in Canada for, I think, 2 years from Pakistan, and I could see that he had the classic work ethic of Bramptonians. He turned that into a mid-sized company, and he is a successful entrepreneur, and I was so proud to administer the oath of citizenship for him and his wife and 3 children. So wonderful to see you, Isaac. And I could go through the whole crowd like this, but I pick him out as an example of the drive that is behind the Peel region and Brampton. We don't have Peel region anymore, right? We got rid of them? Or they're still there? Not the election of the executive. The election's gone. Okay, thank you. I need to get an update here. What's going on? But the drive that lies behind new Canadians who are, in so many ways, the dynamism of the economy of the GTA. Friends, thank you so much for being here to support my former colleague, Arpan Khanna. When I first met Arpan, he was only 21. But I could see he was mature well beyond his chronological age. He was mature well beyond his actual years. And you know, I have to tell you, in politics, there are people that get involved for different reasons, and I respect anybody who's in public service. Sometimes people get involved for self-promotion or prestige or for other kind of superficial reasons. But I always observed in Arpan a young man who was motivated to enter public service because he has strong values, strong convictions, and a big heart. He actually wants to help people. And he understands the best way to raise people up to achieve their God-given potential is through more freedom, a freer economy, lower taxes, enterprise. He understands what has driven newcomers from every corner of the world to choose Canada and make it their new home. He understands that we need an economy that unleashes the creative, wealth-creating, job-creating power of the private sector, of entrepreneurs. He understands that it is through that prosperity that people are best able to care for themselves, their families, and their communities. I got to know this young man. I spent thousands of hours with him, shuttling all around the GTA and sometimes across the country. And I must tell you, I have met, Mr. and Mrs. Khanna, I've met very few young people of Arpan's age with a clear moral compass, a strong ethical center, deep and unshakable personal integrity. And that is why I am so delighted that he is on the ballot. I don't know if you saw, the Federal Conservative Party is tracking all of the candidates knocking on doors. For the second straight month, he's knocked on more doors than any candidate in Canada. That is, so he has the values, he has the integrity, and he has the work ethic. He has the enthusiasm of youth, but the maturity and grounding of someone beyond his years. And if I were Andrew Scheer, I would be very, very grateful that a young man of his caliber is seeking office. And I'll tell you, Brampton needs a voice like Arpan's. It's true that I'm so privileged to serve now as a leader of the largest provincial political party in Canada, the United Conservative Party of Alberta, and I was very honored recently to receive a large Democratic mandate with the support of 55% of Alberta voters, the largest number of voters ever to elect a provincial government in Alberta history. And while that's true, while I'm so proud to serve Albertans, I do know Brampton fairly well. I think a lot of people declared me an honorary Bramptonian. And I agree with Arpan. This community deserves so much more attention in Ottawa than it gets right now. And one of the reasons for that is because I believe Brampton has been taken for granted by the current government in Ottawa. You need a fighter. You need a young man who's going to work 18 hours a day with a spirit of servant leadership to ensure that Brampton is very much on the map where the decisions are made in the national capital, and I am certain that that person is Arpan Khanna. So thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you. It's great to see Prab here, as well as where's Michael Parso? Michael's my dear friend, Michael, who came out to campaign with us in Alberta, with the Persian community, and with. I'm so proud of the work that your government is doing. I'm so grateful to have a strong ally for the province and the people of Ontario in the government of Ontario, an ally to be partners in prosperity, to make the most of Canada's tremendous natural resources, to get pipelines built, to work together, to unite this country around an agenda of prosperity. Thank you for what you're doing. Friends, I've been working very hard these past 3 years to build a big, common sense, free enterprise coalition in my home province of Alberta. And I did it because I believe that a strong Canada needs a strong Alberta. You may not know this, but Alberta has been a massive contributor to our national prosperity. Until recently, Alberta had the fastest growing economy, the highest paying jobs, and the highest number of new businesses. Calgary had, after Toronto, the second highest number of business headquarters of any city in the country. I know many of you have friends and relatives who moved to Alberta to participate in that prosperity. But unfortunately, and on top of all of that, through our federation, Albertans have contributed over $600 billion net to the rest of Canada. Because we pay, that's right, thank you. Thank you for applauding that. We do that through equalization and other transfers. That is to say, if you take all of the money that Albertans pay in taxes to Ottawa and subtract from it the services and payments and transfers that we get back, it's a $20 billion average annual contribution to the rest of the country. And most of that ends up being transferred to Eastern Canada, Quebec, and the Atlantic provinces. But under your recent Liberal governments here, they actually mismanaged things so badly that Ontario was receiving equalization money from Alberta. I'm glad that's no longer the case, thanks to a pro-growth government. But here's the point. Albertans have been very, very generous. And we've been able to share that wealth because we inherited the blessings of nature, the third largest oil reserves in the world, the fourth largest recoverable natural gas reserves. Now, if you were to put the current global price on those resources, they would have a value of over $15 trillion. That's hard to conceive. How much is that? But if we want to pay for our pensions, take care of our seniors, pay for high-quality public education with an aging population, build important infrastructure, provide the best education, universities, colleges, and training, and take care of the least fortunate. If we want to be that generous Canada with those services, then I believe we need to develop those resources. Those are Canadian resources. And we Albertans want to do that, and we want to share that wealth. But we need our fellow Canadians to work with us so that we can get those resources to global markets and get a fair price for them. That's why we are fighting to get pipelines built. That's why it is so important for us to have the people and the government of Ontario in our corner. Right now, in recent polls, nearly half of Albertans have said that they can see a time when Alberta would leave the Canadian Federation. That is a terrible thing. I am and always will be, to my last day, a proud Canadian patriot and federalist. Absolutely. But right now, we have a government in Ottawa that is not only underserving and taking for granted, that is not only punishing people for heating their homes and filling up their gas tanks to drive to work through their carbon tax, but we have a federal government that has done great damage to national unity. That's why half of Albertans are contemplating a future outside of Canada. So the reason I am here today, in part, to support my friend Arpan, is because we Albertans need a national government that will break down barriers within our country, that will create a federation that is based on shared prosperity, where we can get our resources to market. How about a Canada that is a true internal free trade zone? Why is it, we had to go to court last week to defeat a law from the British Columbia NDP government trying to block our resources. We won at court with a decision that was 5-0 in our favor as Albertans. But why should we even have to do that? Why do we have a federal government that is tolerating barriers being built in our country? A federal government that has 2 bills before Parliament that would make it impossible in the future to build a pipeline or to get major projects improved, including mines in Northern Ontario. Friends, I am here because we need a national government that will stand up for taxpayers by repealing the carbon tax, stand up for national unity, stand up for accessing global markets for our resources, stand up for prosperity. We need a Conservative government led by Andrew Scheer with Arpan. And let me just say to you, of course we Canadians are sensitive about the environment. Of course we want to we are global leaders in environmental protection. But folks, as long as there is a growing global demand for oil and gas, either that oil and gas will be provided by dictatorships like Venezuela and Saudi Arabia and Iran and Vladimir Putin's corrupt Russia, or it will be provided by this great democracy with the highest human rights, environmental, and labor standards on earth. I say the world needs more of Canada and Canadian energy. You know, many people in this room are Canadians by choice who originally were born, many of your parents were born in India, in the world's largest democracy. And last year, October, I visited the world's largest oil refinery in Jamnagar in Gujarat that was in part built by one of my ministers, Prasad Bandaji. And do you know they process 1 million barrels of oil per day through that to fuel the Indian economy? Well, they told me, and my friend Vikram Karanaji was there with me, they told us that they wanted more Canadian oil because we were so reliable. We are such a reliable country, an honest, honorable country. They wanted more of our energy. And I wanted to be able to say, we'll get you that oil, but right now we can't because we don't have coastal pipelines. And so they're forced to take that oil from countries that spread violence and conflict around the world. So friends, I'm here to say we need you to be allies with us. It's good for the world and good for Canada. And by the way, there are tens of thousands of jobs in Ontario and here in the GTA and in Brampton. Manufacturing businesses here, transport companies here that benefit from the wealth that is generated in Alberta, from the industries in that province. I want MPs like Arpan Khanna who understand that. You know, there are many things in common. By the way, you know we have parts of Calgary and Edmonton that are just about as diverse, well not quite, but almost as diverse as Brampton and parts of the GTA. And you know what the #1 industry is in many of those communities? Transportation. What's the #1 industry being hurt by the carbon tax? Transportation. We have a common interest in these issues that we need to fight together on. So friends, and let me just say one word because a lot of people say, who is Andrew Scheer? Understandably, he's still a new leader, he's a young man, he doesn't have the profile of the Prime Minister, understandably. So I want to tell you who Andrew Scheer is, since I've known him since he was about 20 years of age. In fact, I'm godfather to Andrew's oldest daughter. And he and his wife Jill are very close personal friends of mine. Let me tell you, Andrew Scheer is a man of profound decency and with deep values of respect, humility, and he's one of the few people I've ever met in politics who doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He is a profoundly decent, nice man who is in this public service for all of the right reasons. And I ask people just to get to know Mr. Scheer better. What you see with Andrew Scheer is what you get, a person of fundamental decency. He doesn't play political games. He is somebody of a refreshing kind of integrity, I think, in all of my years in public service that I have met. So that's why I think Arpan is going to make such a great member of Andrew's team. So friends, it's a real pleasure to be back here in Brampton, and I hope to be back again. I cannot wait. What's the election date? October 18th? October 21st. 148 days. I cannot wait to tune in from Calgary, turn on the national news for the election coverage in October and see a check mark on television, Arpan Khanna elected member of Parliament. I want to thank you for your support in making that happen. And let me tell you, he has friends all across this country who are rooting for him, rooting for your community, rooting for Canadian prosperity, rooting for, cheering for, working for a government that is as good as the people of Canada are. Let's get it done. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Inspiring to hear you speak. I know exactly now where Arpan gets his drive and passion from. At this time, I invite Arpan up to honor you with the token of appreciation.
Thank you. By the way, Arpan listed all of the. I sounded like I used to eat a lot. I don't know. I'm Crown Royal too. That must have. So he didn't mention all the gulab jamuns that I also ate. But I have to say, since I've stopped doing that circuit, I've lost a lot of weight. So no more pakoras or samosas for me, okay? I'm on a diet. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so because you're here, everyone I know here wants to take a picture with you. So we're going to start with a photo line. We're going to start with this table over here. We have 4 reserved tables, and then after that, I'm going to ask everyone to line up on that side. And you're going to give Guggen over here, Guggen, wave your hand. You're going to give Guggen your cell phone so that she will take pictures. If we can also get some help for Guggen, because I'm sure there will be a lot of pictures. So, like I said, if we can please begin with this table with Arpan's parents to please come up on stage. You can come up this side. So I'm going to ask the reserved tables. Okay, but we have 4 tables.
Yeah, we're starting over on this side. Can everyone please line up over here against the wall? Please, thank you.
If we can get table number 11 first. Right over here. All right, next one.